Please rise for our opening exercises. You will find the words to our national anthem, the Black National Anthem, and our mission statement on the inside cover of your program. Join us in singing our national anthem.
Father, who calls all your children, in your name we pray. As we walk through life's many changes, the class of 2019 asks your guidance now in the transition from childhood to adulthood. Help us, Father, to be able to make the right decisions. Lord, let us channel our frustrations and disappointments away from those who love and care for us. Let us, in all the confusion and fear of rapid changes, find joy and peace. Let there be love as well as compassion for us from others. Let us earn respect and admiration through all our actions. Let caring companionship and understanding encompass this senior class. Preserve us from greed, jealousy, and discord. We, the class of 2019, wish to serve you not only with our lips, but with our lives, by walking before you in kindness and justice each day of our lives. Lord, bless our parents, faculty, and all here present who have supported us in our journey. These things we ask in your name. Amen. Amen. Please join us in reciting the Providence St. Mel mission statement.
Providence St. Mel, we believe. We believe in the creation of inspired lives produced by the miracle of hard work. We are not frightened by the challenges of reality, but believe that we can change our conception of this world and our place within it. So we work, plan, build, and dream in that order. We believe that one must earn the right to dream. Our talent, discipline, and integrity will be our contribution to a new world, because we believe that we can take this place, this
Good afternoon. Welcome to commencement ceremonies for Providence St. Mel Senior Class of 2019. Before we formally begin our ceremony, I would like to do a few introductions. First of all, I'm Jeanette Butella. I'm the president of Providence St. Mel School, and at this time, I'd like the platform party to stand and be recognized. Platform party. Will the faculty and staff of Providence St. Mel please rise? Ladies and gentlemen, the determined and disciplined, the heart and soul of Providence St. Mel, faculty and staff, thank you. Will the members of the Board of Trustees who are here today please rise? Thank you for your generous thank you. And we have 3 on stage. Thank you for your generous leadership and everything that you do and give to our students in our school. Thank you. Everyone may be seated. It is always such a great honor to introduce the one and only Mr. Paul J. Adams III, our founder and executive chairman, who will do the welcome this morning. Thank you.
I'm going to try to stay on script, but I was reminded, a student asked me, maybe a month ago, Melanie asked me, what gets me going? This is what charges me up. I came over here today and my meter was on red, and I wanted to be 100%. At about 2:30 or 3 o'clock. You understand what I'm saying, right? Good evening and welcome to this special day for our 2019 graduates of Providence St. Mel School. Welcome parents, grandparents, extended family members, Providence St. Mel staff and teachers, Board of Trustees, visitors, and alumni. If you graduated from Providence St. Mel, please stand so I can see you. And I have a very special thanks today to John, my son. I thank you. I guess somebody said, what did he say, son? I said, to John, my son, I thank you. Borrowing from Psalms 121, I will lift up my eyes unto the hill. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord. For nearly a half century during my tenure, the Lord has been guiding our hands at Providence St. Mel School. So this afternoon, Lord, we present you the class of 2019. To the class of 2019, we expect great things of you in the future. As you leave us today, your next destinations, undergraduate school, graduate school, postgraduate school, as long as you live, you can continue to learn. Words of wisdom from a visitor, donor to Providence St. Mel in her new book, the path made clear. I believe every one of us is born with a purpose. No matter who you are, what you do, or how far you think you have to go, you have been tapped by a force greater than yourself to step into your God-given calling. Ms. Oprah Winfrey, our help cometh from the Lord. To the seniors of 2019, take care of yourself, spiritually, nutritionally, and physically. Learn how to say no respectfully and politely. Learn how to invest financially for the future. I can't overemphasize that, I have to say it again. Learn how to invest financially for the future now. I always say my leaves out, but I just can't help myself. Last, I pass on this advice from a good friend and a board member. He stated to his 3 daughters, all college graduates doing well in their chosen profession. He said to them, do not marry a doofus. A doofus will ruin your life. Stay away from your doofus friends. Stay away from your doofus relatives. Work hard. Trust in the Almighty. You will find a way to make one. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It is my great honor to stand before you today and before the class of 2019. And before I go through the awards, I would just like to honor each and every one of the class of 2019. Each of you have worked very hard, each of you is very special. So today, we will honor each one of you. Thank you, it has been a pleasure getting to know you, and as Mr. Adams said, I know you will be very successful in your future. First, I would like to recognize today, I'm sorry, I'm Renee Kellogg. I know most of you know me, but because I've only been here 51 years, so. It is my pleasure to honor the following awardees of the class of 2019. When your name is called, please rise. First of all, the faculty awards for scholarship. We are lucky this year we have 2 valedictorians who earned the exact cumulative GPA. First one is Eric Matthew Jones. Please stand. Caitlin Mathis. Congratulations on your hard work. You will be receiving a $500 scholarship. We would also like to recognize Melissa Lindsay, who was our commencement speaker for our 8th grade graduates on Melissa will also receive a scholarship check for $500. We would like to recognize our senior members of our National Honor Society. National Honor Society members are selected in recognition of their outstanding character, scholarship, leadership, and service. Members of NHS are honored at our ceremony by the white NHS stole in Gold Castle. Members of NHS from the class of 2019, please rise as I call your name. Carla Pollard, President. Melissa Lindsay, Vice President. Anaya Jones, Treasurer. Philanthropy Group Chair. Caitlin Mathis, Secretary. Lauren Leggett, Melanie Sanders. We also have 4 Illinois State Scholars this year. The following seniors have been recognized as 2019 State Scholars by the state of Illinois. Will be awarded a certificate. Please rise when I call your name. Eric Ignacio Jones, Laura Leggett, Melissa Lindsay, Caitlin Mathis. And we are very proud of our National Merit finalist this year. 2019 recognition goes to Eric Matthew Jones. We do have a few awards today that will be surprises to the students. The first awards are given by Marietta Brad Garber. Unfortunately, she could not be with us today, so I will be presenting the awards for her. 2 $500 social studies scholarships are given by Marietta Brad Garber, Providence class of 1960 and former faculty member in honor of her parents, Florence Brada and Philip Brada. The recipients were chosen through an essay concerning the importance of a knowledge of current events in today's world. The recipients of the $500 Social Studies Current Event Scholarship are, please rise when I call your names, Keyshawn Henderson, and Laura Mendez. $500 check. Mrs. Brada also is kind enough to want to honor the students who have been with us since kindergarten, of which we have 7. So these students have been with us for 13 years. Marietta Brada Garber, Providence class of 1960, and her husband Sam, Marshall High School class of 52, desire to recognize these students who are school and community leaders. Each of these students will receive a $700 scholarship from Ms. Brad. So please rise when I call your name. Destiny Arnold. Melissa Lindsay, Melanie Sanders. Congratulations to these students who have been with us for so many years. We will surely miss your smiling face each day. Congratulations. Will Mrs. Turner please stand? Adrian Hawkins Turner and her husband Joseph Turner are proud Oregon State University graduates. Mr. Turner's business, Transport Link Company, Inc., supports PSM students who will attend Oregon. TLC will provide a $500 book semester for the fall of 2019, which can be renewed each semester for a total of $4,000. This is awarded to the future MSU alum Nasira Muhammad. I would like to recognize scholarships that have previously been awarded to the students or in the process of being awarded. Pilchard Scholarship is a big one, $8,000 a year for 4 years, so it's worth $32,000. The awardees, Timothy Urban, Eric Matthew Jones, Anaya Jones, and Rachel. These students received $1,000 each. Timothy Urban, Kaylin Gates, Alyssa Goodwin. The R. Higgins Scholarship, $1,500, has been awarded to Anaya Jones. The Jen Carson Scholarship, $1,000 each. Caitlin Mathis, Melissa Lindsay. The other senior received an outside scholarship from a private source and forgot to tell me. Please rise now. No, okay, I got everything. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go through the various scholarships these students received from their universities, and as I call the name, please remain standing because by the end everybody will be standing up. So first of all, we have two Posse Scholars which would pay for tuition for 4 years at their chosen schools. Caitlin Mathis, University of applause to are all done, because there's quite a few of them. Okay, Golden Apple Scholar, Keyshawn Henderson, North Park College. Scholarship to the University of Chicago, Lauren Leggett. Scholarship to the University of Wisconsin, Kyla Puller. Scholarship at 4 years at Lakeland, Nigeria Brooks. Scholarships, plus their other scholarships, Tayon Neal, University of Illinois at Chicago, Illinois College, Timothy Urban, Illinois College, Jason Mason, William Woods College, Tariel Nelson, William Woods College. The following students got really great packages, almost full, maybe a small loan and or a little money left. Destiny Arnold, Western Illinois University, Louise Dennis, North Park University, University of Illinois, Houston, Hope College, Eric and Matthew Jones, Caltech, Anaya Jones, University of Illinois, more good packages, Mariana Burnside, Western, Eric Jordan Lakeland, Nyla Larry Bradley, Kadesha University of Illinois, Urbana, Messiah Martin, Northern Illinois, Deshaun Reynolds, North Park, Sarah Wilson, Loyola University, Melanie Sanders, Illinois College, more financial aid, Chris Crawford, Lakeland University, Alyssa Goodwin, Tuskegee, Nasira Muhammad, Morgan State, Chigosi Anunuchi, University of Illinois at Urbana, Corey Brooks, Morehouse, Sam Harrington, Morehouse, Jay Lakeland, Dallas Wilson at Alabama A&M, approximately $154,000. Monies from colleges extrapolated to 4 years is approximately $4 million. So a conservative estimate of the financial aid received by the entire senior class has to be in excess of $4.5 million. Congratulations, seniors. Your hard work does pay off. Congratulations to each and every one of you.
Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Tim Irvin, proud graduate of class of 1991, class valedictorian, and father of Timothy Irvin. $4.5 million in scholarships. I said this on Friday night. A college education is valuable, but a free one is priceless. I stand before you today to introduce our chairman of Board of Trustees Chair, Mr. Greg Pusinelli, who has been a dedicated and passionate member of the Providence St. Mel family since its founding. Inspired by the 1978 Wall Street Journal article featuring the school's fight to remain open, Mr. Pusinelli supported the effort to ensure the quality education young people on the West Side would not be neglected. So much of what we do here today would not be possible without his unwavering support of our tradition of excellence over the past 41 years. Alongside Mr. Michael Halloran, Mr. Pusinelli now serves as the co-chair of the Providence St. Mel Board of Trustees, where he continues to work behind the scenes to make possible this truly college preparatory education. It is with great pleasure that we welcome Mr. Greg Pusinelli to share best wishes with the class of 2019.
Good afternoon. As representing the Board of Trustees, I was thinking if I were sitting in your shoes, you might wonder exactly what it is that the Board of Trustees does. Well, our most important role is to raise money. And every year we have to raise about $5 million, $5 million US dollars to cover the difference between the costs and what the tuition amounts to. So that's our critical job, and also providing oversight to the administration. But I like to think of us as somewhat like the distant relatives that you almost never see, but that are always there thinking about you, pulling for you, asking Ms. Butala and Mr. Adams and others, how are they doing? How's the class? What's the list of schools that they'll be attending? Praying for you, pulling for you, and cheering for you. So think of it that way. And in some ways, it's every bit as important as the money raising. Just a few brief comments. My wife and I have 4 sons, the youngest of which graduated last month from Indiana University. And so I just thought, yeah, I love this crowd. That's my alma mater, so I'm always up for applauding Indiana University. With our 4 sons, we have a few phrases that they have heard over and over again. In fact, we used a couple of them just this morning with our second son. So, when we would take them off to college, we would say to them, work hard, play hard. Now that's not exactly true, really. I would say work hard. My wife would say work hard, play hard. But nonetheless, what we would always add on to that is something that actually my mother used to say, don't do what other people do. You do what's right. So by the factor of all of you being graduates of Providence St. Mel and having worked so hard to get here, you have a reputation that you've established that, like a full ride to college, is priceless. That takes a long time to build up, but it takes moments to destroy, right? So keep that in mind. As you witness new things in college, you meet people unlike any you've known before, you make all sorts of experiences that are new. Keep that in mind, though. Work hard, play hard, but don't do what other people do. Do what's right. And I was reminded by all of those scholarship awards how extra special it is that you're graduates of Providence St. Mel. Frankly, we've had some family members over the years who have said in so many words that their son or daughter was so bright that they could have done this somewhere else, anywhere, okay? I doubt that. And I know that if you went to other graduations these days from other high schools that are supposedly in that realm, not everyone would be standing up. Not everyone would be standing up with that kind of money. So you have really got off to a great start when you go off to whatever schools in the fall. You have that reputation, that pedigree from Providence St. Mel. Don't ever forget that. That's really important. And finally, I quoted my mom, I'm going to quote my father, and he used to say, and this will be important when you get to school and times get tough. In the good times, maybe it's not so front of mind, but he used to say, don't forget God and He won't forget you. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I thank you for listening for a few moments to a co-chairman of the board, but more importantly, a parent. Thinking of you going off to school reminds me of how we would leave our sons off at various schools, and perhaps with a couple of tears, but they were more than anything tears of joy, tears of pride in the young people that our sons had become. And the same goes for all of you today. As part of the Board of Trustees, we're very, very proud of all of you. We wish you Godspeed and all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Cusinelli, for those inspirational words. And now, the Chamber Choir will perform This Is Me by Ben Passett and Justin Paul.
I am brave.
Thank you, Dr. Barr and the Chamber Choir for that great performance. We will now hear from two of our top students. Our first speaker is the class valedictorian, Caitlin Mathis. Caitlin Mathis has been at Providence St. Mel since kindergarten and has been on the honor roll every quarter in lower school, middle school, and high school. She will be attending the University of Wisconsin at Madison on a Posse Scholarship, which is a full tuition scholarship. And now we will hear from Caitlin Mathis.
Good afternoon, Mr. Adams, Ms. Butala, Mr. John Fountain, PSM staff, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2019. I stand before you today elated with the honor of speaking on behalf of my class. First, I would like to give honor to God, who has provided us with matchless grace and has opened countless doors for each student gathered here today. I would also like to thank the families and friends of our class for consistently being the backbone and support for such an amazing group of young individuals. Without your love, generosity, and encouragement, many of us would not be here today. Not only is this a day of celebration for us, but also for each of you. You have played a significant role in a graduate's life, enabling each of us to experience a day such as this. For that, we thank you. Today, our Providence St. Mel family celebrates as well. And moving forward, our former teachers and present staff who have supported us are all here to be pillars of solace when times get difficult, which they will. When times become difficult and we can't seem to see the end of the tunnel, we must remember that we can count on the support which has aided us thus far. To my class, I can truly say as I look out at you, it is clear that this journey has not been easy, but it surely has been worthwhile. Your fervent smiles and excited eyes show an eagerness to embark on a journey towards something greater, which has been cultivated by our hard work and dedication over these past 4 years. Those late nights of working on papers and projects, anxiety while taking tests and assessments, and hours spent completing homework assignments have finally served their purpose. The fruits of our labor are coming into fruition today. While we are moving from adolescence and beginning to embark on adulthood, remember that the marathon continues. With that marathon comes the ability to recognize that all we have learned and gathered from years past is meant to be used for the betterment of our future. Our future is dependent upon the actions that we take from this day forward. If you dare to dream, be daring enough to put the work behind that dream. If you dare to make bold statements, be daring enough to firmly support what you believe. If you dare to do anything, be daring enough to do what you do with poise, grace, and knowledge of self. With such attributes, your work will never be in vain. The institutions where we are furthering our education require one to be strong in his or her convictions to be truly successful. This strength can only come from knowing who you are. If you do not know already, take some time to define who you are and who you aspire to be. Dig deep into your past, set goals, and work toward what you plan to accomplish in the most honest and sincere way. As we plan to close this chapter of our lives, keep something from these 4 years that spoke to you. Maybe there was an assignment that sparked an academic interest that you will pursue in college, a poem read by a classmate that moved you or made you think, or an experience such as senior retreat that placed an imprint on your heart. Whatever that something was, ensure that it will remain with you for years to come. Most importantly, we have been given the courage to take this world by storm to fulfill the destinies that have been written in time. In closing, I wish to leave you with the words of Maya Angelou. Courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. You can practice any virtue erratically, but nothing consistently without courage. The lessons that PSM has taught us throughout these 4 years has instilled the courage that each and every one of us must preserve to achieve the excellence we have been designed to accomplish. Continue your marathon with that courage. Thank you.
Next, we will hear from our other valedictorian, Eric E. Matthew Jones. Eric has been on the honor roll every quarter of his high school career here at Providence St. Mel. He's also a National Merit finalist. Eric will be attending California Institute of Technology in the fall for the nearly 3 years.
Thank you, Reverend Durbin. Mr. Adams, Ms. Butala, Mr. John Fountain, staff, family, guests, and fellow graduates, I thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak on behalf of my class. It is truly an honor. Before I start, I'd like to thank everybody that made this day possible. Thanks be to God for the gift of life. Thank you to Mr. Adams and Ms. Butala, whose work, plans, and dreams have made Providence St. Mel a reality. Thank you to the Board of Trustees and donors who fuel the mighty PSM engine with their leadership, insight, and sponsorship. Thank you to the PSM faculty and staff who have put in longer hours than us to ensure that we may be successful. And thank you to our parents, whose lessons outside of school have helped us finish strong at PSM. And now, if you allow me a moment of pride, I want to say I'm very proud of the class of 2019. And I know many of us have seen classes come and go, but I truly think, and perhaps I'm a little biased, that the class of 2019 is a truly special class. We are the class of champions. Both in and out of the classroom. We are the class that has worked diligently to further our passions and interests, and we have received recognition to prove it. A lot of recognition. We are state champions, winners of massive scholarships and awards, and we are already successful in our prospective careers. However, the goal of our success is not praise. I have not mentioned our accomplishments so that we may rest and say that we are finished, but rather so that we may be excited for our future. This is a celebration of completion, but it is also a celebration of continuation. It is important to stop and realize that not everybody is given or is guaranteed the opportunity to continue at this point in life. Therefore, I want to challenge each of us. Challenge us not to waste this precious opportunity to continue. It is truly a blessing that each of us has the opportunity to pursue a quality college education. An opportunity made possible by our hard work, the sacrifices of our families, and the dedication of the people of Providence St. Mel. We owe it not just to those who support us, but also to ourselves to continue our lives with the sense of excellence instilled in us at Providence St. Mel. Thomas Edison best described this sentiment when stating, "Show me a thoroughly satisfied man, and I will show you a failure." Let us celebrate our graduation, but also be restless to continue. We are the class that is never satisfied because our journey is never complete. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2019.
Thank you, Eric and Caitlin, for those he was unable to make it today because he is a state representative for the 9th District in Illinois, and the latest legislative session went over. And so he's in down in Springfield still trying to work out the budget and things of that nature that's important for us as Illinoisans. But our speaker today, that's why Mr. Allen thanked him as son. He stepped up today and he's going to speak for us. Our speaker is no stranger to Providence St. Mel. Mr. John Fountain is a 1978 graduate of Providence St. Mel. He is a native son of Chicago's West Side and an award-winning columnist, journalist, professor, publisher, and author of True Vine, a young black man's journey of faith, hope, and clarity. And Dear Dad, Reflections on Fatherhood. A tenured full professor of journalism at Roosevelt University for the last 12 years. He writes a weekly Sunday column for the Chicago Sun-Times. Fountain has been a reporter at some of the nation's top newspapers. He was a national correspondent for the New York Times and a staff writer at the Washington Post and the Chicago Tribune, where he was once that newspaper's chief crime reporter. Throughout his career, Fountain has received numerous awards for his work. He was previously a professor of journalism at his alma mater, the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Fountain is the founder of West Side Press Publishing. He is also the author of 5 books. His latest, Soul Cries, in black and white and shades of gray, will be released this summer. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present to you this year's commencement speaker, Providence St. Mel, class of 1978 alum, Mr. John Fountain.
And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. So my message to you today, class of 2019, is simply rise and shine. All right. I'll come back to that. Good afternoon. Give honor to God, to Mr. Adams, who is indeed my father, and in whose vision we stand today. To Ms. Butala, who has carried this vision, and whom I love. To Mr. Pusinelli, and to the Board of Trustees, to faculty, staff, parents, family, and friends. And last but not least, to the 2019 graduating class of Providence St. Mel School. This is a year to remember. A year when you brought home, in 2019, the Class 1A state basketball championship. It is a year when Sam Harrington he blazed the track with an amazing time of 48.16 in the 400-meter dash. To win the state title. And I know that there were other feats and honors that are too numerous to mention here. But what I love about Providence St. Mel School is not only do we kick butt on the track and field and on the court, but it remains a prerequisite here at Providence St. Mel that we first kick butt in the classroom. I tell you, I am deeply honored to stand here as your fill-in commencement speaker, for you see, Chicago's West Side is where I grew up. Only a few minutes from here. in a place called Cape Town that still brings me joy. The year was 1968. Times were stark. I stood at age 7, a little black boy in the dark. Angry red flames lit the pale night sky. That was the day I saw part of my community die. Embers and charred brick, giant green soldiers with shooting sticks atop army jeeps by the golden sunlight of morning, rolling down singed west side streets, past the small but smoldering ash, past dreams deferred, past the last glimmers of hope that clung to life support, barely ringing, beeping, life seeping, as the seeds of future generations lay unplanted, naked, the death of dreams stinging, forsaken. Ask for whom the bell tolled. It was for me, it was for us in the dark. And yet, a great light shined in the darkness. In darkness exists the void of disconnection, of disaffection, of humiliation, the dissonant chords of chaos, stagnation, isolation, societal excommunication. In darkness, the stale stench of poverty runs. Dreams dry up like raisins in the sun. Brokenness and ugliness ripple like waves upon a consuming sea. Darkness cripples. Hope is choked of all possibility. But when light comes, it rises like a soft, lingering melody. It sings honey sweet like angels on a morning wind. It brings hope again. It whispers in rhapsodies sublime of remedies divine, of the restoration of harmonies over time by human hand when we work, plan, build, and dream in that order. When light comes. You see, when light comes, it resurrects dreams and visions. It unearths fallow ground with rhythmic incisions. It wrests life from the clutches of death. It plants faith and hope and promise where once there seemed nothing left. Light dances at the edges of rainbows. It dwells in the prism of possibility. It twinkles like starlit constellations. It ushers us from chaos to recreation, metamorphosis, true transformation. And this is the beauty of education. It changes us from the inside out, and it now beams from your faces, class of 2019. For you have earned the right to dream. Indeed, my soon-to-be fellow alumni, Providence St. Mel is the light that radiates from this west side brick castle. And her light now shines upon you and through you. Even as you stand this afternoon with one foot at the end of one journey and the other foot firmly on the beginning of another. You have become light. You have become light. Indeed, you are light. You have been endued with the power of a first-class education at Providence St. Mel, which still stands after all this time as proof that grass still grows green on the west side of Chicago. Educating little black boys and little black girls still ain't rocket science. You are light, irrepressible, undeniable, unwavering, unadulterated light. For in you over these years has been deposited the intellectual capacity, the academic veracity, and human tenacity to withstand those inevitable storms of life that will arise as you leave this place and face future challenges along your road to many future successes. Class, you are that light, that beacon called America's best promise, America's best hope, so desperately needed in times like these. Times when there are forces that would take our great nation back to times of her dark past. Times when racial hatred seems to have been reignited with murderous vengeance. Times when forces would divide us by race, when the truth of the matter is that the only race that has ever really mattered is the human race. Yes, class, you are right. You are W.E.B. Du Bois's divine souls of black folks. You are the embodiment of Dr. Martin Luther King's undying dream, beacons of possibility, 21st century heirs of the prayers of our ancestors and the promises of God. Despite past social upheaval and struggle and inhuman travesties and crises like the brutal American slavery from which we arose. And in the words of Langston Hughes, we're still here. Moreover, in the words of Maya Angelou, out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Out from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. Still, we rise. And your presence in here today, with the bright futures that await you out there tomorrow, is proof alone that still we rise. Still we rise. If I were a preacher, I'd say, turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, still we rise. As I close, class of 2019, I remember as if it were yesterday, sitting where you are sitting today. Though it has actually been 41 years. I graduated from what was supposed to be the last class of Providence St. Mel in June of 1978. And I hear my grandmother say, the devil is a liar. And 41 years later, I see the class of 2019. I graduated that June of 1978, headed to the University of Illinois in Champaign. My future shining bright as filled with promise. But by the end of fall that next year in 1979, I was a college dropout. Let me tell you the reason when Mr. Adams says that he is my father, it means so much to me, is because 41 years ago in January 1979, my father was killed in an automobile accident. 1979, I was a teenage father with a second child on the way. Not long after, I was married with 3 children, a welfare case. I didn't have a job. I had no hope. I remember I had one suit. In my suit, I'd worn it so long that on the inside it had worn out. It had holes in the jacket. And I had holes in my shoes. And I remember looking at my children's feet, and their shoes were too tight, and I couldn't afford to buy them new shoes. And so they had corns on their feet. And there were folks who said, John, your life is over. And in all honesty, I felt like my life was over. I had sunk so low that I had forgot even what I ever wanted to be. And the truth is, I stopped dreaming. And I might have sank to the point of no return. But in the midst of my darkness, I found or rediscovered a light. In the midst of my darkness, this little light of mine began to rekindle my hope. In the midst of my darkness, that resisted, never dimming little light sparked within me, even in the midst of my nobodiness, the belief that I am somebody. And that bodacious purple and gold Providence St. Mel life declared boldly to the depths of my psyche and soul, with God's help, with God's help, with God's help, I need to find a way or make one. So guess what I did? I got up. For in the rise and shine. So I say to you this afternoon, graduates, rise and shine. Singing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Rise and shine, singing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Rise and shine, carrying this great light with which you have been bestowed, a light of faith and promise by which the Providence St. Mill vision has transformed generations. Rise and shine, for you are equipped for the journey. Your foundation is sure, and I hear destiny calling. Rise and shine, and have no fear as you march bravely forward with the audacity of hope. No mountain too high, no valley too low, for your great light shall prevail, it shall not fail. I say to you, graduating class of 2019, rise and shine.
I don't know about you, but I was truly inspired. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 2019 senior class of Providence St. Mill School. Yasira D. Muhammad. Dallas Wilson. I would like to recognize and thank the Symphonic Band, Mr. Brian Ward, Dr. David Barr, and the Chamber Choir for providing the beautiful music for today's ceremony. The audience is asked to remain seated and out of the aisles until after the recessional. On behalf of the staff, I would like to congratulate each member of the class of 2019. Remember, you have earned the right to dream. We are proud of each of you and we love you. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 2019 graduating